Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use a promo code JUICE and a $10 wager turns into $200 free bet if either team scores a touchdown. Restrictions apply. All right, what do we got for you? We got four college football picks. Three 2-unit straight up plays, and then one 2-team moneyline parlay. We're talking plus 1,200. All right, let's go, baby. Get rid of the recap. I mean, can we? I guess technically we have to do the recap. Fortunately, I don't want to do the recap. Why? Because we went 0-3. Not a lot of fun there. So let's rapid fire here. Ready to turn the page already. Navy did not win the game. They did backdoor it against SMU, only lose it by 6. They certainly had a chance in that first half, even early in the third, and then game got away from them. I mean, this happens sometimes with this Navy team. They're plus 365 for a reason. I thought they were a live dog, and they were live there for a little bit, but yeah, glad they got that backdoor cover. If you played them with the 12.5, going over to the baseball game, the Dodgers, Gonsolin only one strikeout and 42 pitches. He just couldn't hang, man. Gave a bunch of hits and just couldn't hang against this Padres team. And obviously lost Dodgers game overall. They lost 2-1 to the Padres. Back-to-back losses by the Dodgers. If we can't believe in the Dodgers, what can we believe in? Very surprised. I mean, it's easy to kind of bust on Gonsolin, but they only let up 2 runs on the road. This Dodgers offense has to be able to get that win. They just couldn't pull it out. I don't know what's up with their bats. You feel like they're due for a breakout game, but it's just not happening for the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right. You know what is happening? A free giveaway. That's right. You want a Brandon Ayuk autographed jersey? All you got to do is go to youtube.com/bettingpros, hit subscribe, comment on this very video, and you're automatically entered to win an autographed Brandon Ayuk jersey courtesy of Pristine Auction. That thing is pristine. Out here in the great state of Oregon, where it's crazy out here in Oregon, you can do sports betting, but you can't bet on college or play DFS. So I don't know why they're doing that. Who knows, whatever weird, wacky regulations. Speaking of regulations, staying at this place is pretty nice. Each unit, you get your own hot tub, which is awesome. But it's one of these places, have you ever been to Airbnb or some hotels, but mostly it's like these Airbnb type places where just a ton of rules. Like I feel like I signed less stuff than when I bought a new truck than what I did for this Airbnb. They actually make you sign a release, not for just like something bad happening in the hot tub, but the fact that you've read the hot tub rules, which of course I didn't read. So if they're watching this episode, I did not read your entire page of hot tub rules. People love their rules, man. I don't have any. I play by my own rules. That's right. 2-unit plays for college football. All these lines courtesy of the Win Bet. For some reason, I can't. I think because I'm in Oregon, they're blocking all the other access to all the other sports books to even look at the lines. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. Let's get to it. Penn State +7 at Michigan. Let's go. We are going to cover. This is the first game for Michigan where they've not been favored by 17 or more. They just haven't been tested, and this Penn State team is like the perfect team to test them. The Penn State team has actually had some, decent games where they've had to show up on the road. You remember early on in the season against Purdue, like they've, not a hard schedule by any means, but certainly much harder than Michigan. So by comparison, they're battle tested. As they head into Michigan. They're coming off a bye. Love that. They've had 2 weeks to game plan against this Michigan team, and the Michigan team's kind of been sleepwalking. I mean, granted, they're undefeated, but you only beat Maryland by 7. Certainly there's a world where they flip the switch and turn it on here against Penn State, but I like the matchup for Penn State. I mean, Michigan's winning by, dominating on the ground, but Penn State's defense is only allowing 81 rushing yards per game. Michigan obviously averaging over 220 per game. I think Penn State's defense can clamp down again. They're coming off the bye. They should be super fresh. That's what you need to play good run defense. It's all about effort. And I think they're going to bring a ton of it to the big house. Penn State also 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games on the road. And again, there's no Heisman buzz, but this kind of feels like Sean Clifford's year, right? Like he's been in the program for forever. I think he's playing at the capacity of Sean Clifford, and I think they get it done. Give me Penn State +7. Next up, NC State at Syracuse. Syracuse only laying 3 here. Again, all these regular plays are 2-unit plays. Get that over on win. Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. I mean, you can lock that up. I'm always going to be on them. Love them this year. They've been great to me. Again, they're 5-0. So, and they've, even when they've been favored, it's been small numbers. They're great at home. And NC State has really struggled on the road. Now, they had that 10-point loss to Clemson. They're kind of in that game. They almost lost to ECU week 1. Like they should have. The NC State team really should have lost against ECU. And I think the Syracuse team is going to be super tough for NC State. NC State also has a Thursday game coming up. I think that's, granted it's against Virginia Tech, but I think that does hurt your preparation a little bit when you have a Thursday game looming and you're going on the road. Syracuse, like Penn State, also coming off a bye. Love that. Syracuse obviously undefeated, but man, Schrader, their quarterback, has just been balling out. 70% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. They just figure out ways to win the game. That Purdue game in particular is a great example of why I love the Syracuse team. Syracuse football, let's go, baby. And it's the year of betting on college basketball teams. Or like traditionally college basketball schools showing up in football, and Syracuse is a great example of that. Give me Mississippi State laying 4 at Kentucky. This Mike Leach team is just different than Mike Leach teams in previous years. You can trust them as a road favorite. Normally you can't. You can trust them with big spreads. Mississippi State 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games on the road. Will Rogers has been playing really well for them. Kentucky is getting their quarterback, Will Levis, back from injury. But again, coming back from something like that, I don't think he's going to be 100%. And, just the rest of the Kentucky team, they just don't look great. Back-to-back losses. And before that, they beat, I think, Northern Illinois at home by 8. Like, you're Kentucky. You're supposed to be like a, SEC team against Northern Illinois. Come on, what are you doing there? Really, really like Mississippi State. Only laying 4 here. I think this should be higher. Their offense is kind of firing on all cylinders, and this is, I feel like, a better defense than normally you see from a Mike Leach team. And again, I mentioned I've talked about it with Chip Kelly and Mike Leach. Like, it just takes the way they run their programs. It takes a few years for everything to click, and it feels like everything's clicking for both those coaches this year. All right. Wouldn't be a college football podcast without a little long shot action. Come on, let's go. Give me Kansas on the money line, running back to that well, and Tennessee on the money line. Parlay those 2 together, plus 1,200. Only 1 unit on that. I just don't understand a world where Oklahoma's favored by 9 points. Again, maybe I'm crazy for continuing to believe in this Kansas team, but Kansas lost to TCU, and TCU, I thought, played really well. Kansas had a bunch of opportunities that they blew, including, fumbling on the goal line, stuff like that should regress back. Backup quarterback is in for Jalen Daniels. It looks like Bean played really well, I thought. And certainly he doesn't have the running chops that Jalen Daniels have, but I thought he threw the ball really well. I mean, you could argue small sample size, but he was actually throwing the ball better. And I think he kind of opens up Kansas's offense. They have a full week to adjust the game plan to Bean. And I think they're going to be able to move the ball on this Oklahoma team that just – I can't imagine Oklahoma has a ton of confidence after the way they got destroyed by Texas. Dylan Gabriel, he's coming back from a concussion where he got lit up pretty bad. I think he could still be a little rattled in this game. Don't think he's going to be 100%. So I think Kansas is a live dog. Parlay them with Tennessee. You probably historically not a great team to fade Alabama on the money line. But I think this is actually kind of a pretty nice spot here for Tennessee. The line is up to 9 points. Again, we're playing on the money line parlay, plus 1,200. But I think that's, again, I think that means Bryce Young's going to play. Is he 100%? I don't know that he will be. And this Alabama team, I don't know if they're as scary as they were in previous years. Like Jimbo Fisher, I mean, he threw Nick Saban under the bus. You would have thought, even with the backup quarterback, Saban would be able to blow out Texas A&M. But Texas A&M had a shot to win that game there at the very end. Last but not least, Hendon Hooker as a home dog. Like this guy, you want to talk about making your case for the Heisman. Hendon Hooker wins this game. Look out. I think he is going to be skyrocketing to the top of the conversation. He's already one of the top Heisman candidates right now, and I think he has a huge chance to make himself a ton of money here from the NIL and whatever else could happen in the pros. So give me the Jayhawks and Tennessee money line parlay plus 1,200. Also like those separately, but again, not going to make that quote-unquote the official play. But feel free to get on those at like +9 or on the money line as well. I think those are both good angles. Mississippi State -4 at Kentucky for 2 units. NC State at Syracuse. I'm taking Syracuse -3 for 2 units. And then Penn State +7 at Michigan for 2 units. College football. Let's go, baby. Head over to BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE. Bet $10. Get $200 in free bets if either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pro. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other podcast. It's called the Sports Gambling Podcast. You know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.